We're doing something very specific to our brain, aren't we? Even though if we just have 5 minutes to do it rather than the preferred 20 minutes twice a day, if we don't have that full time able to do that, but doing it for at least 5 minutes, we're doing something to our brain, aren't we, with the repetition?
Yes, we are, and more importantly, we're honoring the habit.
Yes.
Honoring the habit. The real challenge in deep meditation isn't the practice itself. The practice is very easy to do. The real challenge is staying consistent and regular over days and weeks and months and years. And it's that accumulation of practice that really produces the tremendous long-term results. So honoring the habit is very important, which is why I say if you're in a very busy schedule situation and having meetings and running here and there and everything, and everybody can find time to sit down for 5 minutes somewhere.
Yes.
And just to honor that habit, and that way you know it's there, the impulse is there, and you'll feel that, like brushing your teeth, you'll feel that impulse to do that thing at that particular time of the day. And so there's really a twofold benefit in sitting wherever you are, even if it's just for a few minutes. You get the benefit of the meditation that you do, number one, and number two, you're honoring the habit, which is a long-term thing.
Now, as far as the mantra, I am, you've written about the profound vibratory quality of the sound of the mantra. How does it differ from a mantra that may be an Om, or as in TM you get your own personal mantra, or I had one from my teacher which is open to the public. It's Amaram Ham Maduram Ham. Beautiful, but how does I am differ?
Well, it differs because it's fairly universal, in the sense that anyone can use it. There are thousands of mantras out there, and what I was looking for coming up through the ranks was something that was all-inclusive in terms of covering the full nervous system, had traditional connections, historical traditional connections, which it does actually in all traditions. It's kind of interesting. If you research the sound, you'll find that it's in all the traditions, whether it's Christian or Muslim or Hindu or even the Buddhist. So, which isn't to say they're all using that mantra, because the traditions have many mantras and many traditional lines and many applications. I was looking for something that would fit with both myself and anybody else. And the difference between I am and Om is pretty significant as well. Many people say, well, why can't I just do this technique with Om? And the reason is because Om has a different effect in the nervous system than I am. And without getting into too much technical detail, the difference is basically that I am covers the full range of the spinal nerve and everything that emanates out from it, whereas Om is more centered further down in the nervous system, in the lower brain and in the chest and so forth. And Om is a very powerful mantra, and if it's used for this technique, it can cause imbalances, especially for beginners. So that's the reason we use I am. And as you probably know from reading the lessons on aypsite.org, I am is really the core mantra that we use. And then later on in our practice, we add some more syllables onto it, which we call mantra enhancements. And one of those later additions does include Om as an addition to the I am core mantra.
And how
but
long?
That's getting pretty far ahead of ourselves here.
Yes. How long should someone practicing meditation, if they're just starting, or if they've had a practice of their own and they're going to start this one with you, how long should they be working on the I am mantra?
You mean before they do an enhancement?
Yes.
Well, it really depends on the person. and this really applies for all additions in practice in AYP, of which there are many different kinds. And mantra enhancements are in that class too. It will depend on the person. It will depend on the amount of purification and opening that's occurring and how stable the practice is.
Uh-huh.
And when a person feels ready, you sort of know inside that you're ready.
Yes.
And if you push it and do it too soon, you will know that too, because it won't feel right. But to answer your question more specifically, I'd say, off the top of my head, 6 months.
Okay.
But some may want to try it sooner, and some may not be ready for years. It just depends on the individual person and their process of purification that's going on.
Mm-hmm. How does yoga work as a cleansing process? What is it cleansing, and why?
That's a good one. I think it occurs on the physical, the emotional, and the mental levels simultaneously, because we all know there is a mind-body connection, right?
Yes.
And it occurs in this case, we're starting with the mind and we're settling down thinking, and then it flows over into the body. The purification, the simplest way to answer that is to say that when the metabolism goes very low, the body is taking very deep rest. It's not exactly the same as sleep, but the concept is similar. So we all know that when we sleep, it has a rejuvenating and a healing effect on us. When we meditate, the inner silence that we're coming in contact with, which is our essential nature, also has a rejuvenating and purifying effect. As far as all of the biology and the psychology and everything of it, I think there's a great opportunity for scientific research to look more into that, and there has been quite a lot of research in that area, especially by the Transcendental Meditation movement. And I'm not affiliated with them, but they do have a lot of very good research on the health and physical and psychological benefits of meditation.
Is there any way the mind can go into silence, as the silent state, without meditation?
Well, without this technique, certainly. But since the definition of meditation, at least from a yoga point of view, is the transcendence of an object to stillness, or samadhi as it's called in Sanskrit, yes. Well, no, it can't. In other words, if you're going to stillness, you are by definition in meditation. You've gone through a process of meditation. If Albert Einstein is trying to think of the theory of relativity, which didn't have a name at that time, but when he was trying to, solve the riddle of light and the speed of light and its relationship to energy, the answer came to him when he wasn't thinking about it at all. He was like lying in a rowboat or something. So those objects that he had been focusing on, he transcended those objects into stillness, and then the answer came. So stillness and meditation are synonymous. It's just a question of how it happens.
Yes.